Hello guys, welcome back to Bad Signal. It's AA712 Beam back at you with another story. And actually this one is going to be the first episode where we tell multiple stories in the same video. I'm going to tell you three kind of more full-fledged stories and one kind of like mini story because it reflects a ton of people I've had come to the store. And as you see, based off the title, we're going to be talking about customers that are with other carriers coming in, and they kind of get upset when we tell them we can't help them with their device unless they want to switch. As you guys know, I work for a phone company. I work in telecom sales. I'm a salesman. And I work in a store. I don't work in a call center or anything like that. I work in a physical store. And one of the more annoying type of customers to come in is when when they come in and they need help with their phone, right? And this is fine and dandy, and I like helping people, and it's great, right? But it hurts the metrics for the day, right? Anytime someone walks in, we need to sell something, right? So when someone comes in asking me help for like their Facebook or whatever, a lot of times I tell them I can't help you when it comes to Facebook. Now, if it's something more involved, like, oh, why is my phone dropping calls or something like that, then yeah, I got you. That's part of my job description, but not, my job description isn't to help you with Google, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. You know what I mean? Right? But I digress. It happens. It's part of the job. Cool. Fine. Whatever. Right? But what's really annoying is when people come from different carriers asking us for help. They don't want to switch, but they want to ask us for help instead of going to their carrier's stores, right? For example, there's one smaller carrier, not going to say which carrier it is, right? But they use my company's towers, and for whatever reason, whenever one of their customers call them asking for help for their phone or looking to buy a new phone, they just tell them they can come get one from us. And every time we tell them, no, we cannot help you with your phone, or no, we cannot give you a phone from us, because for us to sell a phone, we have to sell a line of service for it, right? So if you're not looking to switch over, we can't sell you a phone. If you're looking to stick with that, that small carrier, you have to call them again and have them help you, right? And the reason why we can't like help with troubleshooting with their phones and stuff like that is because it's a liability issue, right? It's not necessarily illegal, but I tell customers, I'm like, look, you're with a different carrier. It is illegal for me to help you with this. Like I can't do it. You have to do it yourself. You know what I mean? Or you have to go to, your carrier and ask them for help, right? And I tell them it's a liability issue. If I help you with your phone, and then a couple days later something goes wrong with your phone, you can just point your finger at me. I'm not going to do that unless you're a actual T-Mobile customer, right? Because if something happens, then you point your finger at me and I can't do nothing. The next thing you're looking to do is probably sue, right? So I just hate when that specific company sends their customers to us because it hurts our metrics, right? But then on top of that, we can't even help them in the first place. You know what I mean? So that's that like more miniature story out the way. For story one, for a more involved person, this lady didn't really get mad, but she just could not understand what I was telling her, right? So this lady came in and she was asking for help for her phone. And I'm doing the best that I can, right? Like, look, we're salesmen. We're not like tech nerds. Like, I'm a big tech nerd, right? But I'm not a technician. I don't know everything. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm trying to help her the best I can. And while I'm trying to figure things out, at one point I took out her SIM card, and the SIM card was not one of ours. It was a different company. I'm telling her, hey, you're with a different phone company, right? And I keep telling her this. And she has one of these really cheap phones made by like TCL or something like that. So she's like, nah, I'm with you. Like, hold on, wait, who do I pay my bill to every month then? I'm like, you pay your bill to this company, right? Because I recognize the SIM card. And she was like, nah, I pay y'all. I was like, no, you do not. And I keep trying to explain to her, I was like, look, it's not our SIM card, therefore you're not with us, right? And after, I keep telling her over the span of like 10 minutes, but she's ignoring me and trying to turn on the phone so she can get to her text messages where she brings up customer care, the customer care like texting line or whatever for her company. And she was like, what does that mean, right? and it had like it she thought that because it had a certain word that my company has in their name, that it meant she was with us. I can't say the certain word for um again, to not leak who I work for, right? But I had a certain word in that text message, and we'll just leave it as it was a very basic word that applies to any phone carrier. Um, and I explained that to her, and then she finally leaves. But like, it's just extremely annoying when you have someone like that that's not willing to listen to you because they just think they're right when I'm pointing out the facts, right? I'm like, this isn't ours. You're not with us. Leave. You know what I mean? And she had two phones she was trying to have me help her with, and I'm like, no, like one of them I automatically knew who it was because it was working just fine. I was like, this is not us. You have to go down the street, right? And then the other one I figured out later, like I said, but like she just wouldn't fucking listen to me. Like, lady, you're not with us. Leave. You know what I mean? And it was busy that day too. I had people waiting, and I'm just explaining to it like, you're not with us. You're not with us. You're not with us. Like, oh, it was so annoying. Right? That was the first ever customer I had that had an extended interaction with when it comes, to something like that. Then, um, but those first two like stories aside, the carriers they were with were smaller carriers. Therefore, like I understand these carriers don't necessarily have stores most of the time, those smaller ones. So I get it, but like still no. You know what I mean? This one just doesn't make sense, right? Um there's this person, this old guy who came in, right? Um and he wanted help with his phone. He's like, "Can you help me with this?" I was like, "It depends." And every time I do something, every time when someone's coming in for help, I always check what carrier they're with, just because these type of things happen. And I'm going to check it. I'm like, "Hey, you're with this, you're with one of our direct competitors, right? Like, you know, you're with one of our direct competitors, right? You're with one of the bigger carriers that is not this one." You know what I mean? Right? And their store is down the street. You need to go down the street. And he was like, "Well, why can't you help me?" And I give him the legal thing. He's like, "So you're talking like the legal route, huh?" Like in like a sassy type of way. I was like, "Look, if I could help you, I would, but like you're not with us. Like literally one more minute of driving." And now the weather is bad because this was recent, so the weather is bad where I live, right? So I understand not wanting to drive for as long as possible, but like one more minute and you would have made it to your carrier's location. Why did you come in here, waste my time, give me hurt my metrics in the process, and you thought like we were just gonna help you? Like, no, you're not with us. You're not looking to switch, so we like why would we help you? You know what I mean? Um, and as he left, he was like, "Well, thanks for nothing, I guess." After I gave him directions for his carrier, and I'm like, fucking dickhead, right? Like, it's not my fault you made the dumb, uneducated decision to come into one of your carrier's competitors and ask for help with troubleshooting your device, but not want to switch at the same time. Like, you should switch. If you want help, you should switch, right? Um, then we have the third story. This one is kind of crazy, and I got more of these, so I'll probably do like an actual like part two for this one at some point, because I have more stories of this. But this third story here, this one, this one low key pisses me off. The customer themselves weren't like too rude, but holy fuck, you can't be this stupid, right? There is this customer for this other carrier. Again, one of the more major carriers, not one of the like the big three carriers, but still a major player in the cell phone industry. Cell phone telecom industry, and they came in asking for help with transferring their data from one phone to another. the first things first is I already hate doing data transfers for our own customers because they're simple to do, but they come in and have us help. They take forever, and now I'm babysitting something and potentially missing sales, right? Not to mention data transfers can take, you know, a couple minutes to multiple hours. So I was like, "You're with this carrier," and he was like, "Yeah, I know, but like, can you guys help us?" And I was like, "No, we can't. Like, if you're not looking to switch, I can't help you." The closest store is like, in this town slash city, which is like, 20-ish minutes away from where we were. And they're like, "Oh, no, I'm not driving that far in this weather," because again, this was pretty recent. And I was like, "Well, I mean, I can't do it for you," again with the whole legal spiel, right? I was like, "Look, like, it's a liability issue, like, I can't do that." You know what I mean? He's like, "Well, can you like show me how?" I'm like, "I can't, because that's me doing it for you. I can explain it a little bit to you. You can look it up online, but like, that's the best I can do." Now, it was, they were doing a data transfer to iPhone, so I kind of explained. I was like, "Look, what you'll want to do is you'll want to make sure both are connected. You'll go home, make sure both are connected to Wi-Fi. On the new phone, you'll power it on. You'll connect it to Wi-Fi, and it'll get to a spot where it says, do you want to like transfer with another, like, do you want to set up with another device?" And then while that happens on your old device, it'll pop up asking you if you want to set up the new phone. You'll press yes, you'll scan the things, and then you'll just walk through it, right? And then they left after I gave that explanation because truthfully, it's the most I can do. But again, one, liability issues, because data transfers, things can go wrong. If you lose pictures and get pissy, I don't want you pointing fingers at me. Go to your carrier and get this shit done, because that's who can help you the most. And I'm not like, no, I'm not putting myself in that position for you to point your finger at me if something goes wrong. You know what I mean? But not only that, I already hate doing, like I said, I already hate doing fucking data transfers for our own customers. So why in the fuck would I do a data transfer for a customer of a different company? You're telling me you want me to sit here for 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes even more than 2 hours, doing your data transfer when you're not with my company, and potentially miss out on sales, which means I'm missing out on money? No. Why the fuck would I do that for you? Like, it's so stupid. Why would you walk in to a store for a direct competitor and ask for fucking help with your device when it comes to troubleshooting? No sane person is going to do that. And if they do offer, it's going to be, "Hey, you need to switch," right? I just wish, like, I wish what it was is my company, right? I wish my company charged a support fee for these customers. Not only our customers, but these third-party customers, where if they come in and they want to get help, sure, we'll help you. It costs you $10. And then as salesmen, we get like, $3 to $5 of that, because we're the ones doing that, helping them, right? Like, charge them a support fee, and then they'll actually do their due diligence and look up the bullshit on YouTube or on a web browser or something before they come in and waste our goddamn time. That's my I guess my rant about this just phenomenon in general. It's not even really a story, it's more of a rant, because this shit just I fucking hate it when customers come from other carriers trying to get help with troubleshooting their goddamn devices. God damn it. Y'all have a good day, all right? Peace out.